Hello and welcome to the Tune Up Tuesday deep dive. And so we were talking about staying in the present, in the here and now. That was our biggest issue that we're trying to resolve right now. The area that is the most out of alignment is that we can't keep our thoughts right here in the present, and we're missing opportunities because of it. So I'm going to be using the Souls on Fire tarot deck to pull further in so that we can go deeper into this message and get you even more guidance out for what you need to do this week. And so we're going to be using the Souls on Fire Tarot, and then I'm also going to pull from the Divine Masters and the Angel Guide Oracle. All right, so let's see. The first thing that we're going to look at is the unresolved issues. So what needs attention from the past? So what's keeping us, like our focus keeps looking back to the past? What is that thing that we need to look at? And the first card is the heart of the unresolved issue. This is the root cause of why we keep looking back and we can't get our focus back into the here and now. So the root of the issue is the Eight of Wands. So the Eight of Wands is about communication. It's about messages that were coming in. So I feel like that this is something that we've been communicated to us in the past. And so I think it's all the things that we've been told about ourselves to this point that we've let that get in way deeper than it probably needed to get in. So we've taken the messages of others on as our own identity, as our own thoughts, as our own beliefs. And so we've got to start reshaping some of the messages that we've been given, that they were not ours, they were given to us by other people, but other people who were projecting whatever it is, because you understand that the way that you show up to somebody is not necessarily the way that you are. Like, reality is just so mind-bending if you really try to really sit and think about it. So there is probably nobody in your existence that has the correct perspective of you, that you think of you. So there is an identity of you. When you think of who you are, this whole identity pops in of this is what it means to be me. And then the very first time you meet somebody outside of you, they also are forming a whole identity of what it means to be you. And so let's just say the first person that did that is your mother. And so most mothers are very doting and adoring. And so they're looking at their child and they are telling them all of this beautiful, wonderful stuff about them. And that's why probably they're one of the first, voices that you get to hear, is because mothers really can feed that kind of life into you. And they're telling you that you're perfect and you're beautiful and you're wonderful and you bring so much joy and I love you so much, right? So you get those messages are coming in. But then as you start interacting with more people, you're going to meet some people who are not going to like you. And some of their messages are now going to start giving you some negative feedback. And so they're going to be viewing you from a different light. And there's no telling why they might not like you. It was 3:33 on the clock. There's no telling why they might not like you. It could be for anything. I mean, there's something about your energy that just kind of rubs them wrong. And they may not even be able to put their finger on it. It may not be, it may not make sense. It may not be realistic. It may be just completely made up for them. But for whatever it is, there's some filter that they're looking at you through. And now then they're going to project that onto you. And so you could choose to take it on if you especially value this person's opinion. And so that's why when those first caregivers are the ones that are giving you those negative opinions about yourself, it really can get in there and form these very deep negative belief systems about yourself that will follow you for the rest of your life and be the voice of your head for the rest of your life. And so we need to pull away from that and to reshape the messages that are coming in. Like, so when you hear the negative, you're going to have to counter it. You're going to have to finish the statement to make it into something that is actually more positive and empowering for you. Okay, so the hidden blocks that are preventing the progress from getting out of that space. The hidden blocks are The Nine of Pentacles, you have become so self-sufficient. You do not want to depend on anyone else. And so that alone, you've kind of, like shielded yourself, like with this, I don't need anyone. And it's probably because of all of the messages that you've been told, or when you reached out for help before, it wasn't reciprocated. And so you've built up this very independent wall. And that independent wall is what is keeping you from being able to release some of this from the past. Because the reason why the wall is up is because it's your protection, it's your barriers. The reason why you're showing up so independently is because that's your trauma response. That's how you showed up from all of the things that you've been told about yourself to this point, is you just created this wall. Then I won't allow anyone else in. And which is probably why this card about the Queen of Cups came up, about allowing yourself to be open again, open to love, open to good things to come in for you again. Okay. So the next thing we're going to look at is what energy is available for a positive reset. So what energy is available around you right now? So let's see. And how to activate this. So we have the Ace of Swords. So the Ace of Swords is you have a lot of truth coming in. So you have a lot of clarity right now. There's a lot of clear thinking. And so you can trust what you're being given. You can trust the information that you're being given. Even if it's just your own internal guidance that is being given to you, you can trust whatever information is being given to you. How can you activate it? We have the Justice card. So the Justice card is about making choices. Okay. Your no means no. Your yes means yes. Don't do something just because you feel obligated to do it. Let your choices be for the things that you actually want them to be. Okay. So the potential outcome by activating that is the World. You are finally closing out old cycles. That does finally complete that cycle. So the thing with the World is you're going to stay just kind of keeping looping around. It's going to keep presenting itself to you and presenting itself to you and presenting itself to you in different shapes, in different people, in different types of lessons. But it's the same root lesson that you're going to keep experiencing until you finally integrate the knowledge that you've learned. So it's not enough just to learn and be like, I know that when this shows up, this is what this means. So when this person starts speaking this to me, I know that they're just projecting at me. Okay, but if you allow yourself to go into the same spirals that you would typically go into of, but why do they talk about me like that? Why do they think, and what does it actually mean for me? And just all of the mindset that you can allow yourself to go in. If you put your energy there and allow it to drain you down, you're just going to keep repeating the cycle instead of accepting it for this is just what they do. I don't even need to know the why they do that. I just need to know what I need to do for myself when they are doing that so that I can make sure that I'm protected, because I'm not going to accept just the complete negative feedback loop that they're giving me. You can give me constructive criticism, but constructive criticism actually gives me a chance to grow and shows me the way, the path of moving forward. When you're just dumping on me and just telling me all of these things that I'm doing wrong and why I'm just a horrible person, that's not helpful and that's not constructive. That's just tearing someone apart. And so I don't have to actually listen to that. And so the ways that you can start kind of shutting that out is like you can say, until you can talk to me respectfully, this conversation is over. Or you can just remove yourself. Or when someone says it, just don't respond. Just mentally tell yourself, that this is on them. This is a projection that they are giving to you. This is not the reality. Check yourself, when they're saying it, is there a reason why you should agree with this information? And if there's not, you can let it go and you can tell yourself that it is really just them viewing you through some sort of filter that you may not even know about. And unless they want to have intelligent and mature conversation about this, you're not even going to know, like how they got to this place. But it doesn't even matter as long as you know in yourself that's not true. There's like, that was definitely not the story. They have told this story. So there's not really anything for me to do other than to let them figure this out on their own. Okay. So the next part is, where do you direct your energy to get the best result? So your most important action right now is going to be the Knight of Cups. And so the Knight of Cups is putting back on those rose-colored glasses. So I feel like that for a certain extent, that the people who have resonated with this reading, you have been a little bit jaded, especially when it comes to love. I'm really feeling it connected with love. And it's just like, you almost just want to barf at just the thought of even talking about it. But this card is kind of asking you right now to open yourself back up to seeing the good things in life, to seeing that there's positive, and just being like, it's just the hopeless romantic. But you don't have to be hopeless, but be a little bit more romantic. Okay. Let's see. This is the thing to avoid. This is going to be the distraction or the pitfall. So this is the thing to avoid right now. The Hierophant. So this is the someone over you telling you how you need to act. So this is how we have been. This is where all the voices and the messages came from to begin with. It's just other people putting their belief systems into you. So this is telling you what you don't do. You don't just have blind faith. You believe in things because you've done your research. You know that it aligns with you. You understand what it means for you. And you're really excited to be a part of whatever this belief means for you. Like, you know the value that it brings for you. Okay. The next section is who or what is supporting you. So you have a hidden ally at this time. Who is your hidden ally at this time? We have the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands is someone who has been through a whole lot. And maybe this has also been part of your own ally, is maybe not even it's a person. It is what you've been through, the path, all of the things that you've learned on this path. And so you are wise enough to know, like, to be guarded enough not to, just completely miss all the red flags. So I think like we're still having to find a balance between this energy here of just being completely guarded, but taking the lessons that we've learned on this path and being able to integrate them so that we can finally close out those cycles. Okay. So how can we access this ally? How can we best use this ally? So the Page of Swords, really taking in the education that it gave us, really inspecting the lessons that it gave us. So, I mean, when you go through difficult things, it is a good idea to journal. That's going to help you process your way through it. And as you're processing your way through it, one of the questions you need to be asking yourself every time is, what was the lesson in this? What was the purpose of me having to go through this? What was I supposed to learn? Why did my soul choose for me to experience this? And then you just sit back and you let that information come to you. And then you write down whatever the first thing is that comes to you. But you need to be able to quantify the actual lessons that you have learned to this point so that you can start learning how to integrate them and use them. All right, so we're going to pull some divine encouragement, and we're going to start with the Divine Masters. So what Divine Master has a message for you at this time? Oh, wow. We have Jesus. So Jesus is about acts of service. When you serve, the universe serves you. So you're going to be served. And I think that you're you're used to being taken advantage of, and I think that that's the thing from the past that we need to let go of. That's the thing that we've kind of learned our lesson about. We know the signs when people show up that they're using us. Now then, the trust in this, okay, so you're never going to get to a place where you can control that people are never going to take advantage of you, to use you, or try to abuse you. You can't control that part. But what you can control is what you're going to do when you realize that's what's happening. So all of the lessons that you learned going through all of these different things that have happened to you that caused these walls to come up, then these were just things that you learned. If you can look at each of those things, okay, that was a lesson. That was a lesson. That was teaching me that when someone shows up like this is what that intention means. This is most likely what the intention means. And so I think that you have gotten accustomed to just being taken advantage of and used, but now then you're going to have the opportunity to serve. And I think that there's some sort of fear here in stepping out in a way that in which you could serve, because you've been taken advantage of so many times in the past. You're afraid that you're just automatically going to be taken advantage of again. So we have, when this card appears, you're being invited to tune into the energy of service. Service is showing up with a generous heart and sharing your gifts in a way that can help the expansion of the world. It's important not to confuse the energy of service with charity, for these are two different energies, and when you serve, it's okay for your gifts, talents, and service to be honored in an energetic exchange. Today, the light of heaven is encouraging you to recognize that you deserve to be honored for the talents that you share. Jesus is here to help you move beyond any old ideas that you have to give until you are empty. You aren't here to live empty or half full. The divine plan is for you to enjoy fulfillment and abundance. Instead of asking the universe or God to use you, ask to be guided to serve in a way that also serves you. When you are full and overflowing, you have more energy and resources to share with others. And so Jesus is reminding you that you are not meant to be used. You are meant to serve so that you can be served as well. All right. So the final card, well, actually, no, I've got another card after this, but the final encouragement message, the divine encouragement message, I'm pulling with the angel guide. And so we have composure. So right now, it's a time of managing your composure. And so I think that's going to be part of the ways that we are healing from the things of the past, is to manage our composure when we are confronted with those energies again. All right. The time to gather your thoughts and energy. Take time to gather your thoughts and energy, because there's a good chance that you're experiencing a buildup of frustration and annoyance at this time. You are a passionate, loving, and joyful being, but at the same time, you don't want to be taken for granted or underestimated. The warrior within you wants to rise up and fight, or at least prove your skills, talents, and worth. But drawing this card indicates that right now, you're not going to be respected or heard in the way that you deserve. Angel wisdom is guiding you to retreat, reflect, and compose yourself before proceeding further. So take time to ask your angels and guides to help you compose your thoughts and your energy. Know that the divine hand of God is upon you in this situation and everyone involved, and there is no need to worry about anyone's karma but your own. Just retreat, refuel, and regain your composure. This card encourages you to step into the energy of equanimity. Equanimity is a Zen-like state in which you refrain from reacting to a situation out of fear and separation. Right now, angels of pure divine light are helping you feel guarded and guided, and encouraging you to recognize that you have an incredible force of love within you. And so just keeping your composure. I think the thing that I got is, like, you're not going to be able to convince anyone else that their perspective is wrong. That's something they just kind of have to come to. They have to even want to come to it. So what I'm getting is, don't try to argue it. Don't try to argue your worth and your value with people. Just when they start showing you that they're not getting it, just start setting up your boundaries and removing yourself from that space, because that's not where you're meant to be. You don't have to prove your value and your worth for the spaces that you're actually meant to be in. All right, so the last card is the grounding energy for the week. And it's the anchor card. And so I'm pulling it from the bottom of the deck, and we have the Lover's card. And so the Lover's card is about making the difficult decision to choose what it is that your heart wants the most, to open yourself up to this possibility of the ultimate love. And it could be in a partnership, or it could be in just the way that you live your life. But it's making a decision that is very difficult for you to make, because it is so heart activated. Like, this is the thing, like, if you don't get it, you know that it's going to hurt you really bad because you want it the most. And so there is the tendency to, like, if I just don't choose it at all, if I don't make a decision at all, then it can't hurt me. But see, you're still not getting what you want by not making the decision. And you still are risking not ever getting what you want by making that decision. So the only way to really assure that you can get what you want is for you to be in control of choosing what it is that you're actually wanting, and being present enough to be able to see those opportunities when they're showing up in front of you. All right, so I'm going to close it out there. Hopefully you found value in this, and it has helped you to be able to let go of the clinging to the past or the worrying about the future, and getting present right now so that we can make the correct choices in this moment, so that we can find the joy, the blessings that are already here in front of us, and we can just continue to move forward on this path and not being held back by the fear of repeating the same old stuff. We've learned from that. We've grown from that. Now it's time to integrate those lessons and to move on from it. All right. I will see you guys next time.